All right, welcome everyone to Mike's House of Health podcast, episode 1. And who better to do the first episode with than my own mother? My mom is honestly one of the most fascinating, coolest, just unique people I have ever known. And I know a lot of people. Ever since I was a little kid, my mom had that bubbly, unique enthusiasm and energy that you rarely see. She got everybody excited, everybody fired up. And she instilled over our lifetimes, my brother and me, over our lifetimes, so many great values, morals, core principles of how to live a good life, and more. So with that said, I wanted to have her on today and just have her share some of that wisdom with everyone. My point of this podcast is to bring people on here who have a story to tell and who might have otherwise never had the chance to share that story, or have advice or wisdom or knowledge to share that could really benefit even just one person. So just a little background, my mom has had a really fascinating life. She grew up with 5 brothers and sisters and worked her tail off to build the life she has today and the life we are super lucky to have. She also was a court stenographer, the head court stenographer in City Hall, and had her own business and being a court reporter and stenographer, basically being that scribe for all the big major court cases. And I remember when I was little, she would come in, or she would bring me into some of the murder trials and everything. It was the craziest, most fascinating experience. But she just had really a unique life and unique experience. And I wanted to have her here and have her share some of her stories or some of her insight and wisdom. So with that said, let's kick it off. So Mom, tell everybody a little bit about your kind of life journey and some of the things that you learned along the way that helped you really kind of catapult your life and take advantage of all life has to offer.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for the kind words, and thanks for the support in your own mother, and it's a wonderful thing. And first of all, I'm really happy to be here. I've never done a video, and I've never been on a video podcast.
Oh wait, let me cut this. So this is our first one, so please be easy on us. You know, I do the little motivational videos, as you guys know, but I haven't done them with somebody else, and the dynamic is quite different as you're asking questions, bouncing things off each other. So be gentle on us for this first one. But go ahead, continue.
Anyway, so far I've had a great life. We've had a great life. Our kids have had a great life. We're humbled and thankful for it. It took a lot of hard work and staying the course and a lot of bumps along the way that you need to get over. But some of the most important things that I could share is that I feel that when everyone is born, they're given a bank account. And in that bank account, there's no money, but days. You get one deposit when you're born, and it's the amount of days that you get to have on this earth. And no one knows the amount of your deposit. Wow. It's different for each and every person. But I've always felt that with that deposit, it's so important to be really mindful of your withdrawals, because each day you withdraw a day and you have to make it count. And I'm not saying you have to reinvent the wheel or you've got to be an astronaut, but just a little things during your day, to be kind, to say a few kind words, to be enthusiastic, because in life, it is really a choice that you have each and every day, whether to go forward with a positive attitude or not. And as Mike said, it wasn't that easy growing up. We were determined to bring ourselves to a higher level in every aspect. And I think that I felt that there was a little spark in me that said, I want to accomplish something. I want to be somebody and have some kind of little impact, however small it is, on my own life and the life that I live. And so I did become a court stenographer. I have no formal education. It was a trade school, and it was one of the most fascinating careers ever. I sat in courtrooms with people from every walk of life, and from experts to murderers to everything. And it was amazing to see our system in action. It was amazing to see jurors, and I don't know if it's the best system in the world, but it's pretty good, and compared to other countries. But anyway, that was a great great part of my life. And of course, having our sons was a magnificent part of our life. And my husband and I were sort of trendsetters back then, because back in the 70s and the early 80s, you know, people didn't buy whole grains or understand natural organic things. And we tried to forge that path. So with our children, you know, we tried to look into, you know, raising them in a way that was more connected with the earth.
Yeah,
and nowadays they just talk about so many things about saving the planet and climate, but if you don't learn to love the earth itself, if you don't go out and see the bugs or go out and see the trees, you're never going to have that connection. So I think it's important to raise human beings with a connection to the earth. And I've had a great journey, and we're so happy that our kids are here, and we're so happy for family and friends. And I think the most important lesson I could try to give from my perspective is life is a straight, narrow path. And on that path, you can get knocked off so many times. You can fall in the ditch. And the difference between the people that make it to the end of their path and the people that don't is getting out of the ditch. Literally, you can get thrown in a ditch every day in your career, in your health, in your family, in your friends. And if you don't get out of the ditch, then you're in trouble. If you get out of the ditch, it doesn't matter. Everything that happens to you is collectively stored in your body and your mind to help you go forward. So yeah. I really think that being young is a gift in itself, and I think that people should really pat themselves on the back and try to do the best they can, because it's not easy, and I'm sure it's not easy nowadays. There's so much of an onslaught given to us each day about what's right, what's wrong, what's good, and what's bad. Find your intuition. You know.
Yeah.
You don't need a book. You know it in your heart.
Definitely, yeah. And from what I've learned over the years of, as far as what you said, which was so true about making sure you really get out of that ditch. Whenever you're down your path and you veer off the path and life happens, things happens to everyone. How you get out of that ditch is so important. And I think it starts with your own mind and your own perception. And when you really work on yourself, you know, you work on your mind, you master your thoughts and emotions, you put the time in to learn and grow and evolve, that's how you can get out of that ditch the fastest. So I think that's so true. Do you have any kind of words of wisdom for the next generation as, you know, we continue evolving this earth, and some good things are happening, some not so good things are happening, and, you know, life is changing right before our eyes every day. Do you have any thoughts of some kind of advice or, you know, insight for the younger generation?
What I think, and I've watched and experienced, is on the mountain of life, at the top sits success, fame, fortune. But on that same mountain, at the top, sits tragedy, disaster, and downfall. And they're both at the top of the mountain, and they're both achievable and happening in your life. And so don't think because you make it to the top that that's what it is. You know, I'm at the top. No, because as you know from stories from other people, you know, it all comes with a price to pay. And I think that if you just keep in mind that the journey, the brief shining moment we're here, is the reason to really just stay the course and to feel a little compassion and a little kindness, and to slow down and say, I like that guy, the guy who just checked me out at the cashier, or, you know, just like impart a little energy to the next person, because really we're all human beings. No one's better than the next person.
Absolutely.
No one's better than the next person.
And one thing that I've learned over the years is if you can get to a state in which you are not living in fear, you can really be your true authentic self, and you can go around and have that positive energy and that impact on other people, and it has that ripple effect. So like you said, you go into Wawa and you bring an upbeat attitude and you ask people how they're doing, you smile at people. that has that nice ripple effect of everyone in Wawa versus coming in with a low energy or a negative energy, which has the opposite effect. So I agree. You get yourself in that great state of being, and you can share that energy with the world, and then the ripple happens everywhere you go, right?
Mike, and you embody that more than anyone that I know. You are so cognizant and aware that everyone matters. It's either everyone matters or no one matters. Everyone matters. And you bring that so much into family, friends, to strangers. You bring it into your career. It's a wonderful thing to see as a parent, to see your offspring be of that character. And your brother's a great person too. And I can't ask for a better gift in my life than that of you and your brother.
Thank
it's
you.
a
I
wonderful
appreciate
thing.
that. So that's a good segue into my last question, because we want to keep these not too long, because we could sit and talk for 5 hours. But last question regarding, your gift and having children and raising them. So a lot of my friends now and a lot of people are having children. And do you have any advice for them in raising kids in this world, like really doing the best by your children and really helping ensure that they grow and evolve and have the best life they can? Because you've had a lot of experience. I mean, you've sacrificed everything for your kids. Like, I've never seen anyone give up and work so hard for their children and put them first. Like, it's incredible. I don't know if I would do it as much as you did. It's that amazing, the sacrifices you gave. So do you have any thoughts on, best ways or advice for people now going on their journey to raise children?
Well, I think the greatest thing that they can do for themselves and their children is to follow their gut, to follow your intuition, love your children, want the best for them, be a part of them. Because sometimes we think in life that children are an addition, like a car or house. They aren't. They're living, breathing human beings. And I think that the sacrifice that you say we made was all fun. I mean, I never played with things in the dirt or trucks or little figures until I had kids, and it made life even more fun. And I think that if you follow your intuition and you take care of your own backyard, when you take care of your children in your own backyard and everyone else follows suit, all the backyards in the world will be taken care of.
Really
Instead
nice.
of worrying about the big picture, bring it down to the small picture. And your children have an opportunity just to really thrive. And I know you young people really are much more conscientious about it than when we were young. And I think you'll trust yourselves, trust your confidence, be confident, because they need a safe haven from you. And they also need the experience which you guys, are there to give them.
That's so nice. Yeah. And one quote that just popped in my head that you talked to me about, because when my mom was young, she didn't really want kids, but she talked to her mom one day and I remember this, it stuck with me because it got me excited to have kids one day. And it was, her mom sat her down and said, one of the most amazing things that changed my perspective on having kids was, as an adult, you get to go back in time and relive your childhood.
So true.
How amazing is that? Think about how all the fun things you did as a child, and you get to relive those as you created another human being, and they get to experience that childhood. Isn't that amazing? That's incredible.
That's the biggest gift.
It's so cool.
For a parent, that's the biggest gift, to watch your son or your daughter play with a turtle, just so many things, a ball, a jumping. One of the greatest things, and Mike is quite the jumper, but when he was a little boy, we learned to count, and I used to put him on our big bed, and I used to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and from the ages of 1 to about 5 years old, Mike each day would jump on that bed, and that's how he learned to count to ad infinitum.
That's awesome. I love dunking basketballs all my whole life.
Yes, but there's so many little things. People think they need instruction, or they need gadgets, or they need to purchase things. It's all there for the taking. Pull the couch pillows off. Remove your coffee table. You can have a fort and fun, and you can draw and color, and it's fabulous.
That's so nice. Well, thank you for this. We're going to have future podcasts because my mom has so much good insight and wisdom. I want to try to keep these on the shorter side. We want to try our first one here. And thank you again. I appreciate all you've done over my life. Like I wake up every day beyond grateful and blessed. Like I can't even believe the life that we've manifested together and I've manifested for myself. Thanks in part to you and Dad and all the stuff you've helped with. So I'll have my dad on next too as another podcast. And thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed this and we'll see you soon. The House of Health. Here we go.